Welcome back to another exciting edition of Rake Position, where three-ish lifelong friends are living out the dream from the comfort of their chairs. I'm Aaron, the host.
I'm Joe, the groundskeeper. The Toronto Blue Jays off-season plans, much like my DMs to Sydney Sweeney, a lot of swings and misses there.
Every time, man. I don't know where it's going.
That's
Oh,
his
that was
best.
good. That was a good one.
Best one, yeah.
I'm Jay Lee the Rover, and maybe after today, since Corey not showing again, I might have to be I'm Jay Lee the Rover / Statman. I don't know. This is getting
right.
annoying, guys.
You're becoming the trivia czar, too. We got some more Jay Lee trivia specials coming in later on. Corey wasn't able to join us again. We're hoping to get some of his input for the pod later on. Not
What
a
was
whole lot.
y'all's?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was y'all's? I don't remember if this is how it worked, but in the math section of the ACT, you remember what y'all scored? Mine was low, so I'm definitely not stat man. But
I would probably be the backup stat man, but that doesn't mean I can do it anymore. I was like a 32 or 33 in the math.
I don't
was my
think I
highest.
really need to discuss my ACT because I think the whole thing was low.
Fair enough. That's why you're the Rover.
Yeah.
That's funny. So we don't have a whole lot to talk about. It's kind of slow since last time we've talked. We've had a couple holidays, and I think stuff doesn't pick up until January. So arbitration happened today, so I bet some signings and extensions start popping out there. Got about a month until pitchers and catchers start showing up. So there's some big free agents out there still. Alonso, Santander, Bregman. Some nice pitching pieces, but a few things I want to get you guys' thoughts on. The biggest extension so far has been Brent Rooker out in the Sacramento athletics world. 5 years, $60 million. Here's the thing, guys. If you could hit like Brent Rooker, which I just saw today, that over the last 2 years he's ahead of Harper and he's ahead of Vladimir Guerrero as far as like batting value. This guy is often overlooked slugger because of where he plays. Is 5 years, $60 million enough for you to commit to the Athletics if you're that good?
How old is he? Do we know?
Good question. I
he's
believe
29.
28. 29? Okay.
I mean, this had to buy out some. Actually, he just he turned 30 in November, so I'm assuming this bought out some arbitration. This guy looks like a late bloomer.
He was a late bloomer. See if we can find how many years of service does he have?
That's a good question, though.
I mean, before 2023, he had played about 5, 6, 7, about 80 games total. So
He's got, so he just finished his third complete year. So this would have been first year arbitration. So he had 3 arbitration years and then 2 free agent years bought out here for what, $15 million a year?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he is an older free agent. Like if he would have gone to free agency in 3 years, he would have been hitting the market at 33. Who knows? That's kind of old for a first-time free agent. So
yeah, I think maybe just depend off his age and the years that you're buying off. I mean, who's to say that he continues to rake as he gets older, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and if he does, he's still 35. Someone will pay him to be a DH and make a couple more mil after that. So 60 mil guaranteed for you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. And I mean, here we go again, guys. Another team that moves away and they start paying players. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, we talked about last episode. I had just seen that they have to spend 105 million on their player payroll, and this brings them in. Last I saw, about 8 million underneath that, so they still have to add somebody else or make another extension like this. So I don't know. The A's. This will be interesting once we get close to the season and we start predicting divisions. Are the Athletics the worst team in the West now? That'll be interesting, especially if they keep adding.
I don't know. Angels always seem to prove us wrong.
Yeah. Yep, they do. They're trying too, though. That's the thing. At least these guys are trying.
Yeah.
As far as signings, that was about it for extensions. But there were a couple free agent signings since last time we talked. A couple 1 year deals. One of the older veteran variety. There's not many pitchers that are older than Joe and I. This guy is Verlander going to the Giants. And then Bueller on a bounce back 1 year deal going to the Red Sox. So what do you think about those signings, fellows?
Hit me with it, Joe. What's the saying?
No such thing as a bad 1 year deal.
That's right.
It's
I think
true.
Verlander's getting
I
15, Bueller's getting 18.
I can get a quick hot take from our West Coast
Yeah,
correspondent
do it.
here.
Okay. I love it.
He
These are the
um
best.
he hit me up as soon as it
I'm
happened. I gotta find
I'm
that.
sure he had nothing but positive things to say about it.
He's pretty yeah,
While
he
you're
was
finding
pretty
that,
pretty on it.
for Bueller, I think it's awesome. I mean, he did at the postseason. He dominated. He gets to go on a 1 year deal to Boston. Hit the free agent market. I think he's 30 or close to it.
Yes.
30, 31 or something like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
he'll be able to make a big payday if he dominates this year. So I think it's smart by him. And Red Sox are making moves to be in contender. So could be good for him.
Yeah, and there's still signing Santander too. Um but
And Bregman and who else? Who else we got
yeah, our West Coast correspondent was Giants doing stupid giant things. Let's sign a 42-year-old who just came back to throw an 8 ERA for a $15 million deal.
Uh-huh.
I mean, their goal of spending money on superstars, they just didn't say superstars who are past their prime and should retire. So the other Cooney, thank you for that. Um, yeah, and I remember watching, I don't know if I'd say it was sad, but when he came back from injury, I must have been last year, I think. Um, Watching him pitch, it was like, I mean, because Verlander was so good for so long, and you're like, this big dude, even when he's 40 plus, he's still gonna be a beast, and it's just like a little bit of a shell of what he had always been. It was kind of sad to see, but um, I mean, you got to think these teams do their due diligence and physicals
Mhm.
and whatnot, and if you're gonna shell out 15 million. I mean, maybe you're paying for the name, as a lot of it probably is, but um, I don't know. We'll see if he's got one more season in him.
Yeah, I mean, this is about the going rate for a veteran fifth starter. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're not wrong nowadays.
Gibson got that, Lynn got that last year. This year, Morton just got 15 mil to go to Baltimore. Alex Cobb, I forget where did he sign? He got 3 years, like 15 mil per year, and he only made like two starts last year. So the veteran, that's about the going right for a veteran at the back of the pen, and you might as well take Verlander. I was kind of hoping Braves have been so silent. I was hoping they threw one of these 1 year deals to Verlander and Scherzer and hoping one of them would take it. So, I mean, you could do a lot worse than him being probably by the end of the year. You're expecting him to be your third starter. Webb and Harrison leading the staff with Verlander holding down the fort. But yeah, and then the Bueller, uh, he's performed on the biggest stage. He had a great run before he got hurt in the playoffs. He's always been in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
And then he kind of struggled this year coming back, but in the playoffs, he was back to his normal self. Um, yeah, Boston's going to be sneaky good out there in the East. They're putting together a nice team and still looking to add. They're attached to every bullpen arm. Um, Still attached to Bregman. Yeah, they're in trade rumors. So I like both those deals. Jared, you got anything else to add to those guys?
To those guys, no. I mean, I've always liked watching Verlander pitch, so I hope he stays healthy. And I don't know. I mean, it's tough to look at any team in the West, compare them to the Dodgers, and be like, oh, they could make a run for him. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants could have a pretty solid rotation. Um, the signings that they've made, I know our West Coast correspondent isn't a big fan, but I mean, I think they could sign Babe Ruth in their prime, and he'd still have something to say about it. Um, so I don't know. I think the Giants are making some cool moves too, especially if they get everybody healthy back. Same with, like I said, same with Bueller. I think that's a smart move for him to do a 1 year, coming off the year that he had, but promising at the end of it. And like I said, free agent market next year is probably gonna get a 10-year deal, 200 mil
Yeah, I'm gonna
somewhere.
get paid.
I didn't get anything in on Bueller, so I'll go on record as saying that will be a bust, and he'll have a trash year.
All
Wow.
right, I
Okay.
will. Let me
Once
Spoilers.
you're,
let me write
yeah,
that down.
once
Bueller the bust.
Bueller equals bust. Got it.
And then, of course, the big signing that's happened since our last pod was Corbin Burns going to Arizona. I almost forgot him because we've talked about him texting each other, but we have not had a chance to talk to him on air. So
we're
Corbin
gonna talk
Burns,
to him on air
yeah,
or about.
He's dialing
Oh,
in.
welcome
yeah,
in, Corbin.
he's dialed in. So thoughts on Corbin Burns? Surprise! Of course, you all predicted him going to Arizona. I know. So
No, I had him going to Boston too. So
I think Joe and I both had Giants. Actually, I think we did. Did you say Giants too?
I
it's
can't
somewhere in my
remember.
notes.
But
Think you guys did agree on that one.
we had a lot of predictions going on out there.
Joe, if you got any thoughts, I have his contract pulled up and I can run through it if you guys want.
Yeah, hit us with
I
it.
have some thoughts, but go ahead and let us
Cool.
give
I'll
us the
give you all
deets.
that and then we'll get your thoughts here. So it looks like it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year deal. Wrong. It's a 2-year deal with an opt out after 7 years overall, but after the 2 years, you can opt out if you would like. And then our favorite thing, and my question real quick is this going to be the normal? A lot of deferred money. So he'll
Okay.
get paid after the contract about 10 and 11 million dollars after that. So annually it's
Hmm.
about 31, and then if he opts in, it goes up to 36 mil a year. Uh, which the opt outs I never have a problem with. Like it could be good for the team and the player themselves. Like if the team's hot, you can just opt in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with these guys. But if they're not, then you can be like, I'm still 31 and can go get another big deal somewhere if I'm not feeling it. Uh, I mean, Arizona, I want them to be good just because it's fun to see the Diamondbacks be good again, and hopefully they just pick their old school jerseys and rock that the entire year. But I feel like every year they release a new color of some new scheme. So
Different shade of purple.
the contract notes real quick, I'll discuss, and then I'll kick it to you, Joe, real quick. Through the 25-26 season, he has a full no trade clause, and this is what I find funny. Through years 27 through 30, he has a 14-team no trade list. So let's walk through this scenario real quick. You're a team. You call the Diamondbacks. You're like, hey, we want Corbin Burns. And you got to be like, ooh, actually, you're on his no trade list of the 14 teams. He's like, I don't want to go there. That's got to be
Hmm.
salty. But I think that's funny. You can pick teams and be like, nah, I don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if he finishes fifth through first in Cy Young, he gets extra incentive, 50K for each Gold Glove, World Series MVP, um, World Series MVP, LCS, all in all MLB, and then largest contract in Arizona Diamondbacks history at signing. So put a lot of money into that. But again, the opt out thing, we'll see what
Hmm.
happens. But big move for the old
And
rattlesnakes.
yeah, and he probably left money on or I mean, I think certainly left money on the table by going there. The first thing I think of is I think, especially being out of the AL East, we're all a little bit of an Orioles fan just because we want to see the evil
Burns.
empires dethroned. But and Baltimore was so good last year. They got new ownership, young up and coming team, and of course, there could be news that I've missed because I'm just so busy in my life. Baltimore, like, what are they doing? They haven't done hardly anything. I thought they would
They
maybe try
signed
to
your boy
re-sign.
to a 3-year deal,
Oh,
Tyler
O'Neill?
O'Neill.
Yeah, I mean
That's true.
that's a trash
Yeah,
signing. So it was
yeah. Go from Santander to O'Neill.
I,
Go from Burns to Morton.
Now that's a
They
you know
win.
they did get what the older Japan pitcher. He's like
that
35, 36. I forget his name
right, the
now.
guy that we don't even know his name, so he's
Yeah,
probably not going to
yeah.
be that good. So And I know they have all these young studs, and maybe that's enough. But again, back to new ownership, we're going to spend on the team. Well, let's see it. I assume so he's from that area, which I think is right, is one of the reasons he took maybe a lesser deal. The 14 teams is probably like Canada and East Coast stuff that
St.
he
Louis.
never want to go to. St. Louis losers. And then I had one other point. Oh, the deferral stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know if it depends on what state you're in as to if that makes more sense than doesn't make sense, but I'm not a tax or I'm not an expert of anything, so I don't know.
Hmm.
Sad to see him leave Baltimore. They could have used an ace.
Yeah, Baltimore doesn't have a single pitcher on a guaranteed contract next year. Now, of course, they got some of these young guys that are, like arbitration and whatnot. But for them to just have like nobody locked in long term, like O'Neal is your long term contract right now. Like, come on, Baltimore. What are we doing here?
I think
Maybe
they're
they've been
probably,
in on all these people and just have missed, but it's
yeah.
kind of
I
sad.
mean, I guess they're trying to figure out because they've never had this much talent before, too. But
Yeah,
you're gonna have to
good
pay
problem to
Gunner.
have.
We know that. You thought you were gonna have to pay Jackson Holiday if he turns it around.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, all those other young guns over there too. So I'm sure they're trying to
Bravos,
pick
yeah.
their poison on who they're trying to pay.
Yeah. I think one thing that I thought was interesting that I've heard multiple people talk about, and Joe mentioned it too, so he's seen it. The fact that Corbin lives in Scottsdale now, so he's right there. And he just had like his second baby or third baby, something like that. He's got 3 kids that are real young. And something that I never thought about until I just read this a couple days ago. The Diamondbacks are the only team that also plays spring training in the same town. And so if you're on the
Oh wow.
Diamondbacks, your spring training's there, plus you're playing 81 games at home, like you hardly have to travel. And so
That's a
if you
big
live
factor.
there, do you want to be at home? Yeah. Like everybody else has to go someplace else for spring training for 2 months and then travel during the season. So good for them for spending the money because I know the owner has been publicly upset with the Montgomery deal that backfired, and I was afraid that was going to make him gun shy. But you throw Gallen, you throw Kelly, you throw Burns. Montgomery can't be as bad as he was last year. Maybe he can. Erod, hopefully, he'll be healthy. I mean, they've
He could
got.
be.
Yeah, he could be. I'm guessing he's probably the one getting traded. Somebody will get traded from that group, but because I think Gallen and Kelly are both free agents after this year, and Montgomery wore out his welcome. So I'm guessing they'll ship somebody out for more offense, but it's a good team, nice young team with some veteran pitching. So good for them. The only
We need
trade.
our
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just to continue on Corbin Burns. We need our stat man here, but some of the things I was reading, um, maybe I'm a negative Ned.
Nah.
I think Corbin probably goes downhill pretty quick. Average velo, which seems to be a favorite stat of every article you read about, was down. His Ks per nine were down. He's gonna hit 30. I guess he doesn't have a lot of innings on his arm, but so it's a 7-year deal. Maybe he opts out in 2 years, but I mean I think we've definitely seen peak Corbin, and I don't know if he gives you 30 starts and 3 ERA, you take it, but
Yeah.
my opinion is he'll go down pretty fast. Sorry, Corbin.
All right. You want me to add
All
that with
right, add that Walker bust.
you want me to
Corbin
add that with
downhill.
Bueller, or do you want me to put like a separate category for Burns?
That's separate. I mean, Bueller's
Burns.
complete bust.
I mean, it's the
Burns will be
triple.
good this year.
It's the triple B. Burns, Bueller, bust.
There we go. That's like a
Yeah.
new game segment, I think. Burns, Bueller, or bust. We'll figure that out. Work on that, Joe.
Is it just
All right.
trivia about Corbin Burns and Bueller? And
Just
it's like
as
The
a
a wham.
bust.
stat. Yeah, I
And
don't
it's
know.
like a whammy. Is the bust?
I love it. That's Joe's department. The only trade that's really happened is significant because this guy was a top 5 prospect, like what, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dodgers seem to just stockpile talent, but they actually shipped out Gavin Lux, who went into last year being the opening day shortstop. About a week before the opening day, they're like, "Ooh, this guy can't play shortstop. Let's move him to second and move our outfielder because outfielders are so good. They're so athletically beasty.
Yeah, it can
Any
really
any
play any
outfielder can
position.
play
Yeah.
shortstop, so they moved Betts into shortstop.
You notice they didn't
Uh,
move Lux to the outfield.
no, they moved him to second, the easiest position in the league to play. Is that right, Joe? And he couldn't even do that. And then second half of the year, he started hitting again. But a lefty, potentially middle infield uh, bat going to the Reds for a pick and a prospect. Reds are loaded with infield guys, but they're all right-handed. So just interesting. It happened because the Dodgers, surprise, surprise, signed Haesung Kim out of Japan. So they signed a Gold Glove caliber second baseman and moved Lux instead. So maybe not a whole lot to talk about. He goes to the Central, so maybe that's significant to you
Mhm.
guys. But something to keep an eye on. Going to Cincy, can Lux figure out how to hit again?
I know when he was a highly rated prospect, I took him in a fantasy league because he had second. If you can get some, there's not a whole lot of second basemen that produce some good fantasy stats. And that paid off for like maybe a week or something, and then he got hurt or was trash or something.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember from his time in LA. It's a move Cincinnati, a team like Cincinnati needs to make. You're not going to sign a big name to play second base, so if you can catch a guy who maybe gets that top rated prospect ability back, you hit on something you didn't have to pay a lot for. So, um, I hope the Reds lose 162 games, but it's a move that they need to make, and maybe it pays off.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did it because he was left-handed bat, but outside of that, I think pretty comparable to the guy they just shipped off to Kansas City, then Jonathan
Yeah.
India. So kind of said it makes sense because he bats left-handed, but again, they're kind of crowded all over the infield, in my opinion.
I think Gavin's always been and still will be a better defender. And so maybe they just thought India should be everyday second baseman and they have other
Yeah,
spots filled. But yeah, the lefty bat's the big thing. But yeah, I think you're right. Like India's a proven hitter. Lux is unproven. My follow-up question though to the NL Central correspondence
hey,
is how come four of the teams are trying and one team's not?
well, we're trying to put a lot of fake news out there is what we're trying to do.
We'll talk about that when we get closer to the season with our predictions. But man, such a winnable division. Man, at least Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cubs, at least they're trying. Be
It's
very, very
depressing.
winnable. All righty.
It's
Any other
depressing.
news recap you guys want to touch on before we get to the Hall of Fame edition of this pod?
No.
All righty. Well, Hall of Fame balloting is made public on January 21st. That's when we will know who the class of 2025 will be. There's some of our favorites are holdovers. There's some seemingly slam dunk, no doubt, first ballot guys joining the list. And so our Rover is going to bring us some fun here with a little Hall of Fame trivia segment.
That's me. Yeah, Hall of Fame, kind of always a fun time. So you can see who should have made it in, who made it in that shouldn't have made it in, and who used all the steroids and isn't gonna make it in.
I
Um,
hope that's one of the
yeah,
questions. Who used the most amount of steroids?
yeah. Name me every player that's used steroids that hasn't made it in. No, I don't know.
Um,
The Hall of Fame, it's fun. I'm hoping there's some players in here that we can push over the edge to get through there. Um, but yeah, no. Before I kick it to Joe for his part of the Hall of Fame, I got some trivia for you guys.
Listen
And
up,
I all
listeners.
and I know that you guys are always
Are we
so good
writing
at
this
trivia.
down? How are we doing this?
Oh yeah, we can write it down. We can write it down. So I got 10 questions here. And
Dang.
if
Can
you need me to,
real quick, can you
yeah.
recap last time's trivia, Trivia Master?
I don't have it kept, but I think you won.
Yeah, I believe Joe was up here
Yeah,
bragging
keyword
and
think.
ended
Doesn't
up
know for
down
sure.
here,
Uh-huh.
and I skyrocketed on the last question. Okay,
Because you got
just
the Ricky Henderson, what teams he won the World Series with. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember now. Yep, Joe, you did lose. Well, time for a
Yeah,
comeback.
very easy to cheat at these games. So I'll put that in. Go ahead.
I mean, he does have two screens, so I don't know what he's doing over there.
Here's the thing, Rakers out there. You might think Joe is a sore loser, but in reality,
No.
he's also a sore winner. So
He's just he's
he's
just
just
sore.
sore. Yeah.
It's best if I don't even play, but I
He's
will.
sore. He's sore mentally and physically.
Yeah, how's that leg press shoulder injury?
We're coming back. I'm looking
Yeah.
to have some tryouts for any teams
Well,
wanting a hard throwing righty.
Well, the
yep,
Cardinals are cutting all the old guys, so don't call there.
I signed you up, Joe. So you'll have some calls coming soon. Anyway,
Can't
here we
wait.
go. First question, gentlemen. I tried to kind of pepper in some easy ones and some more difficult ones, and then there were some that I was like, nobody knows the answer to this. Like there were
That'd
some
be all
questions,
of them.
the questions that I found, I'm like, who is that guy? But anyway, so hopefully we do decent on these. All right. What cap did Mr. Nolan Ryan select for the Hall of Fame? Please write your answers down and give me a thumbs up when you're ready to roll.
Jaylee, if I say what?
That's
Is
good.
that a clue? Yeah. That's what I
No.
thought.
Oh, no, you're gonna hate me. Um,
Wait, that's not a clue?
I'm
I
not trying to
wrote
give you any clues. All
I
right,
wrote it
listeners,
anyway.
until they're ready.
I think
Obviously
I'm
we know
ready.
who Nolan. We all know who Nolan Ryan is, one of the best to ever do it. So, uh, you guys ready?
We're
Cooney?
going to the next question, or are
I'm
we doing
good.
answers?
Nope. Give me the answer. Cooney,
Oh,
what'd you write down?
I got the Angels.
Joe, what do you have written
I
down?
have the Astros.
Wow. Both are wrong. He
The Rangers.
selected the Texas Rangers.
What
And
an
I made a little
idiot.
side note,
Eh.
and this is what makes it interesting with these more successful seasons with the Astros and the Angels, which you guys both picked, and a championship with the Mets, but picked the Rangers for some reason for only pitching 5 seasons with them. So
Hmm.
interesting. Interesting. All right, this is another hat
Hmm.
question. And because I
Does
thought
he
this was really
own like the Rangers or something?
he does something with them.
Doesn't Bush own him? Or
I
used
don't
to?
know.
George
Something like
W.
that.
Mm-hmm.
George W.
Or did you?
All
All
right, Joe,
right.
let me know when you're ready for the next question.
Yep.
All right. What cap did Dave Winfield select?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I can even name a team that dude played for.
Well, like I said, this is
Mm.
sorry, listeners. I'm trying to break the silence here. I don't know much about Dave Winfield. I know he was a big beastie baller, mashed some homers. Um,
We resemble each other,
yeah, him and Cooney are very, very similar.
like Joe and
Uh,
Jordan Walker.
yeah, I
Hmm.
believe played
I
the
better
outfield.
let
Yeah,
yeah,
not well.
I better let Aaron answer this one first.
So you can write down my
You
answer.
you ready? Both ready?
He played for quite a few teams for being a Hall of Famer. I'm going to go with the Padres.
Okay, Joe.
I had San Diego written down.
And you're serious.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We all know who knows you're cheating, and it's not me and it's not Cooney. It's the Lord. Okay.
Hey, my hands are behind my back right now, son.
So how'd you write it down?
Because there was 2 minutes before they were
Did you
back
just
there.
listen to Cooney? And you're like, yeah, that's a good answer.
Well, we're right.
Yeah, it was the Padres.
And the thank you. 1 point for me.
2 points for saying it first. All right.
All right. Let me get this. Let me write the scores down
I
here
gotta
real
go look at
quick.
Dave Winfield and see what all.
All
Big
right.
dog stats.
Now, I picked this one because I thought it was really funny when I was Nolan Ryan was the first one to come up, but then I saw Dave Winfield. More
I love how you
seasons
didn't pick the Yankees.
and yeah, with the Yankees, but chose the Padres because of a feud with George Steinbrenner. So a slap
Brilliant.
in the face. Hilarious.
Love it.
Thought that was amazing. All right, fellas, this is we're traveling back in time here. Okay.
Ask
If I
Winfield.
could turn back time.
Turn back time. If I could find a
Jay Lee's
way.
got that outfit in his closet.
Yeah, it's right
I
back there.
got pictures of it.
That's true. Okay. I'm trying to think of how I want you guys to how I'm gonna give these points out here. Oh
I
no,
think
see,
Aaron can go
I'm
first.
I'm a genius. I made notes in this already. How I'm gonna ask this genius. Who were the first players inducted into the Hall? Now, before you write,
Oh,
there were one, two, three, four, five. There were five. Give
I've
me three.
read this before.
Give me three. Five total. Give me three.
Absolutely no idea.
Well, start writing something down or just copy off of Cooney.
Yeah, Joe's going first on this one. Can you give us a year? Was it like the 60s it
Nope.
opened up?
I
I
cannot give you the year.
that makes something, Joe.
All right, I got three people.
I don't.
Aaron's not even within time limits. DQ.
All right, I got it.
He's back in. He's DQ'd, but
I'm
he's
back
back
in.
in. All right, Joe, give me
You
the
want three
three
names?
people you wrote down.
I got Cy Young, Ty Cobb, and Babe Ruth.
Cooney, who you got?
I like Ty Cobb. You know me. I don't think of Ty Cobb often. I got Ruth, Cy Young, and Walter Johnson. It's Ty Cobb nobody liked.
Woo-wee. Guys, what is do some math? We're baseball nerds here. What is you went 2 for 3 on the day. What's your average?
We're at 667, baby.
Uh-huh. So yeah, you didn't get all
Repeating, of
three.
course.
So you both got it wrong, but you were darn close. So we got Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb,
Booyah.
Walter Johnson,
Not Cy Young.
Honus Wagner,
Mm.
Christy Matheson.
Nice.
So
Mm.
guys are close, darn close.
Yeah. I'm kind of impressed with us, Joe.
High five.
I'm also kind of impressed with you guys. That's crazy. All right, this is another fun one that I found. Who was the first African American player inducted into the Hall of Fame who had not played in the Negro Leagues?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. I obviously I'm real close to the answer.
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you. All right, listeners, while I fill the void here, we do these trivias almost every we're doing these trivias probably almost every week now. It's a segment that we're starting to like to do. So give us some categories of questions that you would like us to put out there, or
What
go ahead, Joe.
what year was Jackie? The 50s?
I don't know. That's not part of what I got here.
I got two names, and if
Okay.
Joe picks one of them, I'll go the other one. Is that fair? So we don't have the same
Dude,
answer?
I'm about to pick somebody from 2012.
No, I need you to go
Okay.
with your gut. One answer.
My gut's big. It can hold two.
Oh man.
I can't think of who played first. All right, I'll go with that guy.
Joe,
Give
you ready?
me no, give me another 10 seconds.
All right. But yeah, listeners, any categories or any suggestions for trivia that you'd like to do? This is something fun that we're trying to throw in here to break up the old off season since the hot stove is kind of cool right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm way off, but I'll go with it. I said Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
I got Bob Gibson.
Cooney gets a point. Mr.
Nice
Bob
work.
Gibson.
Yeah. The other one I had was Fergie Jenkins, and I crossed him off and went Bob Gibson. Oh man, sweet.
All
That's a
right.
good question, man. That
All
was
right.
a shot in the dark.
Score
What a shot
recap.
through the dark. Ozzy Osbourne.
Cooney, 2. Joe, 1. Oh,
Got
look at all those balloons.
And
Those are for you,
balloons.
Cooney. Those are for you. All right. What question are we on here? 1, 2, 3,
Number
4,
five.
5.
Number 5. All right. Again, if you need me to reread the question, let me
Yeah,
know.
please reread number 5.
All right. I'll read it for the first time. What special group of Hall of Fame players do Joe Mauer and Todd Helton belong to?
Oh.
Say that again.
What special group of Hall of Fame players do Joe Mauer and Todd Helton belong to?
All white guys? I don't get it.
Are they
That's
the
your
only
answer?
two? They're the only two in this group, or are there more?
No, they're part of the group.
Okay.
When they were selected into the hall, they became a part of this group.
I don't know how to word it.
And if it's a lengthy or paraphrased, the judge will decide if it's acceptable or not. Or I could tell you the answer and you guys can tell me what you have.
I don't think you want to do that. Because
What
I
special group of Hall of Fame players do Joe Mauer and Todd Helton belong to?
I got
I don't
something.
I don't like these questions. This is going to be, oh, they were both born under the water and down by the Nile. I mean, this is stupid. Anyway, you want us to give you our answers?
Yeah, Mr. This is stupid. Joe, go ahead.
JK. I I mean, now that I said stupid, I look at my answer and I'm like, that's a stupid answer.
I
Um,
love it.
they joined the group of, let me think if this is even accurate. I don't know if this is even accurate. They joined the group of players that batted left-handed and threw right-handed.
Aaron?
I like that.
Guessing
That's a
that's
good
wrong.
one. They are homegrown batting champs and Gold Glovers.
You guys thought about it too hard. They played for one team.
That's why I put homegrown, but I was trying to make it more because Chipper Jones played for one team. Why did you use Chipper?
Because he's not as
Because
good
I
as those
picked
two.
these two.
That's
They
what threw me
joined
off. That's why I
they
was
joined the
asking.
group of people that were
I
already
like it.
in the
I like
hall.
it. I was thinking that way. That's why I was asking. Group.
You guys should have phoned a friend and called me and I would have gave you the answer.
I wrote homegrown. That's
We
what I
should
meant
call
by
Corey.
homegrown. One team.
That'd be funny. All
I
right,
like
this
it. That's a good
one
question.
we'll do closest number. How about that? Closest
All
number
right.
for this
Joe
next
always
one.
wins these.
Gentlemen, 84 pitchers have made the Hall of Fame.
That's it?
How many were
I'm almost dead at this point then.
how many were left-handed?
Woo. I mean, whoever goes first.
No, writing it down.
50-50.
You don't know one. You said 84 in?
Yep. Just write the number big on the back of the piece of paper and hold the paper.
I know most of them. Let me count real fast.
Joe, the answer is not 84, by the way.
I'll
All
take the
right.
under on 84.
We ready?
No.
These are your favorite types of pitchers. Why are you not?
I was gonna say it's gotta be high, right?
Because they were all
Man.
tall. Name a short left-handed pitcher.
Aaron, you're guessing, right, Aaron? You're not like this isn't super educated.
Oh, yeah. I'm totally guessing. I did math.
Okay.
Am I on there?
13? Is that a joke?
Well,
Name 10. I can't.
It's
the
baseball.
answer is 18.
I,
Todd
had a two-
Glavine.
if I had a 2-story
Tom
house, I'd get
Seaver,
on the
that's
roof and
it.
jump
That's-
off.
Billy Wagner, the greatest left-handed reliever, is not even in. Like, there's not that many. Take another point for me.
Did you say both of the numbers for the listeners, Jared?
Joe had 40. Aaron had 13. The answer
18 of 84.
was 18.
Yeah, I seriously can't think of 5, so and it wasn't very many.
That's absolute mind blown.
All right. This next one, since you guys were so good at being going 2 for 3. There's 3
Name 3
answers.
numbers that Mitchell Page wore. Go ahead.
Let's just say Mitchell Bonds.
All right. Give me 3 numbers that Mitchell Page wore.
1, 2, and 4.
But they were on there.
There's 3, but if you guys, I'm looking for 2. 2 of the 3 for this next one. Okay.
Okay.
What teams do not have a player in the hall?
Oh my goodness.
And there's 3.
There's 3. I need 2.
Aaron's got this on lock. Can I go look at a full list of teams?
I think I know all 3 of them. And you're saying, you're meaning they don't have a hat in the Hall of Fame, or no player in the Hall of Fame ever played for these teams?
The way that it was worded is they do not have a player.
I feel good about mine.
I mean, just pick some teams that ain't been around a while, right? How much time are you giving us here? 5 minutes?
Your time's up.
Oh, well, I think I may have 2. I don't know.
All right. Cooney,
I
Go
got
ahead.
Rays Marlins.
Joe,
Miami, Tampa Bay.
yes. The other team,
Diamondbacks?
ooh, no. The other team
Who?
is the Nationals.
Oh. See that? Yeah. They're the
Trick
Expos.
question.
Yeah. Who's in it for the Diamondbacks?
Did Randy go as a Diamondback?
Kurt Schilling,
Sure.
probably.
Kurt Schilling's not in. Randy surely went as a Mariner.
Kurt Schilling's not in?
No. Riders don't like him. Didn't he just go off last year? Yeah.
See what hat Randy's
did,
got.
did Luis Gonzalez get in? That's what I was trying to think of. Did he get in?
I doubt it. He's a Reuter.
It's a beast.
Man, yeah. Look up Diamondbacks Hall of Famers.
What did Randy go in as?
Surely a Mariner, right?
I don't think so.
He went in as Arizona.
Alan Trammell, Randy Johnson, and Roberto Alomar?
All went in as Diamondbacks.
Surely, I mean, definitely not Alomar.
Trammell was a Tiger, I would think. I don't know. That's interesting. All right, I like that. I wasn't for sure about the Nationals because I was thinking the Expos.
All right, moving on. Good job, guys. I can always count on you guys to get 2 of 3. Appreciate you.
Really?
Can we recap the score?
Thank you.
4-3, right?
No, it's
I hope you're not
it's-
flexing on beating me at this trivia.
It's
Oh,
3 to
I will
1.
flex.
3-1.
I don't even feel that's an accurate score.
It's not. I got 4.
What 4 ones do you have?
I got Padres,
Oh,
Me
yeah,
too.
you just got
Bob-
this recent one. Sorry.
Bob Gibson, 13, and that one.
I didn't
Joe
update
got-
it. My bad.
Joe got this one, and
So it's 4-2. My apologies.
okay.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
The
If I had
batting
the
average
stat
to get
man-
it up there.
If I had the stat man to keep score here, it'd be a lot easier.
All right, let's keep
All right.
this choo-choo train rolling. Trugging was a choo-choo.
Keep on running. Keep
Boone
on
hiding. All right.
running.
Which
Keep
player?
on rolling.
Which player was the exception
Brett Hull.
to the 5 years retired rule before being elected into the Hall?
Next.
Oh, I know useless trivia. I'm so awesome.
I am. That's what my tombstone's going to say. Nothing about my kids, nothing about my wife.
Joe, you ready?
I feel like this is my best guess. I feel like it's maybe right. You want me to go
All right,
first?
Joe. Go
Aaron, I
ahead.
think obviously knows it. I had Roberto Clemente.
That's what I had.
Cooney? Yes, sir. Mr. Roberto Clemente.
Beast.
I just watched one of his throws today. Came across one of my feeds.
Cannon.
Flat-footed, leaning
Beautiful.
backwards to home
Coach
plate.
Allen said I resembled him, so there's that.
I don't think you're talking about baseball.
Like you both had two hands.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Anyway, moving on. All right. This is another one of those, just think about the question, okay? Don't overthink the question.
All right.
I'm gonna
It's
underthink
another
it. I do
it's
that
another
anyway.
one of those, they belong in a special group, okay?
Yeah, I do.
What special group of Hall of Fame players do Adrian Beltre and Joe Mauer join? What special group of Hall of Fame players did Adrian Beltre and Joe Mauer join? I mean, I'll try to break this down. Adrian Beltre and Joe Mauer, when they were elected, there were already
Mhm.
players in the hall that did
That
what
did this.
that did this.
Man, I got no idea. Uh,
Whew, listeners, I will tell you one thing. Thank you, Lord, that I'm the one asking questions because I would probably not even have any points on the board here.
I have an atrocious answer.
But I am. This is kind of like
I'm gonna
Inception.
pass. I've got nothing.
I am Jaylee the Rover, the host inside of Rake Your Position,
Trivia edition.
the secondary host.
I'm the third and dairy host.
I've got nothing. I'm gonna have to pass on this. I'm drawing a blank.
Joe, what do you got?
I'll write something down.
I put played in the American League.
Okay.
I've got. There's got to be more people do this, but maybe it's a bigger group. I got rookie of the year and batting champ.
Man, I tried to really just make you not think
I
about it too
have
much.
no
It's a
idea what they
simple
have in
answer.
common.
They joined the group of being selected their first time on the ballot.
Mm, good call.
All right.
I didn't know
Good.
Mauer did.
I like it.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
no, that's good. I didn't know Mauer was first time ballot.
All right.
Good.
So this last one has
Are we on the last one or number 9? Oh,
We're on
wait,
the
yeah,
last
that
one.
one. Yeah, I forgot about the
So this last one,
left-handers.
this could be a chance. Joe always wants a chance to come back and win.
This one's
could
worth
be it.
30 points.
This one's worth 6 points. Because I'll need 6 names here.
Thank you, Drew
I like
Carey.
it.
All
I
right.
don't even know 6 players.
Now, falls into the last question. So it's based off the same thing. Since 2016, so more people have done this. But since 2016, what other 6 players made the Hall of Fame on their first ballot? So since
GG, Aaron. Good work.
2016, what other 6 players
So
made
we
the
get a
Hall of
point for
Fame?
each one we get.
You get a point for each one. And he's not on there yet, but Albert Pujols will be on this list.
Yeah, we will.
And he'll wear an Angels hat.
And you said this is outside of those two we just mentioned?
Yes.
Good question.
Do you give us some background music?
I'm trying to think what years this guy would have been.
Ooh, nice. Listeners, to use that telepathy and time traveling and warp into my brain.
Yeah, warp into his brain, but don't stay long because you will not like what you see.
Not at all.
Um, but yeah, listeners, this is trying to break the silence again.
We gotta get 6 names. Is this a joke?
Nope. You always want to try to come back in these games. Now's your opportunity. One shot, one opportunity.
Since 2016.
2016.
I feel like some of these guys retired before that, but I'm going for it. Or would have been in
Go
before that.
for it. Go
Look,
for
I
it.
did not cite my sources, so some of these could be wrong. But these are the names I gave you.
Love it.
All right, whoever listens this far
All
into
right.
the
I got
podcast,
6.
we're trying to
I
plan our
got-
next baseball trip. Give us ideas of where we should go. We got some ideas, but throw them out there.
I
Joe,
I
are you
got
ready?
6 names. Yeah. You want me to go
All
first?
right.
I'm 100% on 3. I have no idea when they retired.
Who do you want? How do you want? You want me to name off the names and you guys check on
Let's
the
go
ones you
back and
have?
forth. Let's go
Okay.
back and forth.
All right.
My number
I-
1, I'll do my number 1,
Yep.
Sure.
is obviously Larry Wayne Jones Jr., the chipper.
What was your?
I didn't have Chipper.
Cooney gets a
Is he
point.
on? Yep.
Number 2.
Me?
Yep.
Rivera, Mariano.
I got Mo as well.
All right. You both get a point.
Of course he does.
Number 3.
My next one is his teammate, Derek Jeter.
I got Jeter.
All right. You both get another point.
Those are my 3 for sures.
All right. So those are 3. Right?
Joe, you got another one? Yeah, I'm 3 for 3.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Before you go. So we've got 3 of the 6 so far with Jeter, Rivera, and Chipper.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the score is 8
Aaron's won. We
to
know
5. So if he gets these wrong, Joe, and you get them
If I
right,
get one more, I'm in. So, Joe,
Yeah.
go ahead and give all your answers. See how many you get.
yep.
My
If
next
you get
one was
3, you can
my-
tie me. If you get 4, you'll take the lead.
I didn't know when this guy retired, but my next one is Griffey.
That's wrong.
Yeah, too old.
What are your other
So
2? Let's see
he
what you get.
retired before 2011.
He retired before Chipper. Chipper retired in 12 and was elected in 17. Griffey retired in like 8 or 9. Something like that.
2010.
Yeah.
What are
He's
your other
messed up.
2, Joe?
He's got 3
Oh,
more still.
Yeah, I got. Do you want me to give you the other 3?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you
yep,
get all
go
3 of them, you tie me.
I had Roy Halladay, Randy Johnson, and Buster Posey.
Ooh, you had Roy Halladay.
Oh, no.
The other
I didn't have
2
him.
were wrong.
All right. So this guy, I'm not sure he's first ballot, but he went in with Chipper. Jim Tomei.
Correct.
And then these other 2, I'm not sure the year they went in. Pedro.
Nope.
Okay. I didn't have Holiday. And then Pudge.
Nope.
Reuter.
So I got 4.
Yep. So the one
who-
name you guys left
Pedro
off
didn't make it.
He was that time. He was before that.
was
Oh, I got you.
Mr. Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Ah. Forgot about him.
DH, have his stats.
The other one I was thinking about was Biggio, but Biggio was way before Chipper. So I couldn't. That was a good question. I like that.
Yeah, it was
Jared, your
good.
trivia skills are improving weekly. I love it. That's fun.
Thanks. The internet helps me out a ton.
Hey, that's what I tell my professors. All right, moving on. Joe is going to keep the Hall of Fame talk going here to close out this podcast. So, Joe, tell the listeners what we are doing here.
Yeah, first thing I would say is mostly to beast up them view counts. It was either episode 40 or 41 where we kind of deep dived a little bit. And I don't think any of us at that time were super aware of how people get on the list initially. But I would encourage you to go back and listen to that. But basically, the way to be on the list is either a committee initially votes you onto the list, or if you get at least what is it, certain percentage, 10%?
I need to go back and listen.
There's a certain percentage you have to get to stay on the list, and you can stay on the list for up to 10 years. So the people that are returning to this year's Hall of Fame vote were, it looks like maybe it's 5% because David Wright at 6.2% is still on there. Those returning to the list, I'm going to rapid fire these names. I know you're all hardcore fans. You're going to be like, man, I remember those names. I remember every at bat they ever had. David Wright, Torrey Hunter, Francisco Rodriguez. This is going from lowest percentage to highest. Mark Burley, Andy Pettit, Jimmy Rollins, Bobby Abreu, Omar Vizquel, Chase Utley, Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, and Billy Wagner. It's Billy's last chance to get in. He's the only member that's in his 10th and final year, but he was really close. He was 1.2 points off of getting in. Those new to the ballot, big list of names. Some pretty big Omega lols on here too. I wonder what this committee's thinking when they're like, let's throw this guy on the ballot for the Hall of Fame. They must have got some rock and roll Hall of Fame ballot people to come over here and cast votes because idiots. But anyway, those new to the ballot: Cargo, Carlos Gonzalez, Curtis Granderson, Felix Hernandez, Adam Jones, Ian Kinsler, Russell Martin, Brian McCann, Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, for Fernando Rodney, which I believe hurt himself playing Guitar Hero. CC
Uh,
Sabathia.
Worth it.
Is that the right guy? No, Joel Zumaya.
Joel Zumaya. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Joel Zumaya.
Okay.
They were teammates
Uh,
of the Tigers.
CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, Troy Tulowitzki, and Ben Zobrist. So I know that was a lot of names. Listeners, you can kind of, maybe you were thinking as you went along, hey, I would put that guy in. I can't believe that guy's there. I wonder what that guy's stats were and if he deserves to be in. So keep thinking that. We're going to go around. You can vote for up to 10. The committee can. So we're going to go around the horn here and
We're the committee now.
we're the committee now. We've taken over that ship. I'm at the helm. I'm driving. Jake. um,
Yeah.
so we'll go around. You can vote for up to 10. You don't have to have 10.
Real up there, Joe.
I thought you were gonna say something, Joe. No.
Yeah.
You know I had things in the head, but not on camera, not recorded, boys. So I have 7 names, but I'm gonna go ahead and go last. I'm gonna throw it
Okay.
over to Aaron, the host, and see
Okay.
who he's voted for, and he can give us the rundown as to why.
So Corey sent me his list as well, so I can reveal
Thank you,
that
Corey.
later on as well. So there'll be 4
who's
people
Corey?
voting. So if someone gets 3 out of 4 votes, that's 75%, and they're in the Hall of Fame. So we're going to see if Rake and position were the only people allowed to vote for the Hall.
Could you
One, that
imagine?
would be
First of all,
awesome. Yeah, that'd be amazing. 2, let's start our own Hall of Fame. Like the Hall of Fame it's just run by its own committee. Like it's not MLB owned. So we could just do our
we'd
own
have
Hall of
to.
Fame,
We got to
guys.
workshop a name. Rake your Hall of Fame.
And you're get in if you give us a piece of memorabilia. You're in. It's gonna be
Honestly,
great.
you get in if you just text us and say, "Hey, what's
Yeah,
up?"
yeah. Just say, put me in. You're in.
All
All
right,
right.
you're in.
So I went for 10. I would say I've got 7 that I think are locks, and then 3 more that I would strongly consider and argue for.
I'll keep track
But
of our votes as we go along. So go ahead.
okay, yeah. But I want to go ahead and vote for those three guys so they don't fall off the ballot. Because in our made up world, if they don't get any votes between the four of us, then they're off next year. So
Yeah. And they
locks, I've got Ichiro. I've got Billy Wagner. I think he was like one vote shy last year. Um, and then I've got K Rod as a lock. Those are the two best closers of my lifetime, like just outside Rivera, obviously, but just watching K Rod and Wagner, just you knew it was over when they came in. Dominance at the back of the game. I've got Andrew as a lock. I won't spend any more time there on that. Any argument you can use for anybody else applies to Andrew.
That's
So
like
get him
one of
in
those
there.
locks, one of those locks on the Egyptian tomb that was just rope that you could like cut through real easy and just break in.
Nope. Any
That was
argument you
fun.
could use for any other player applies to Andrew as
Well,
well.
this is weird. This is the first time I've ever talked. I know you're a big Rays fan, but I've never heard you talk about why you think he
I'm not going
deserves
to.
to
I'm not
be
going to
in.
waste time.
Okay.
This, if you don't vote for him, you're done. I would vote for the steroid guys, and so Manny and A-Rod,
Yeah.
two of the most fearsome hitters of our lifetime. When you're talking war, when you're talking defense, A-Rod's up there. You're talking just clutch daddy, Manny's there, counting stats, everything, championships. So get both of them in there. And then my last lock for me, and as we learned earlier, how many lefty pitchers are in the Hall of Fame, Joe?
40.
There's
18.
18. I
That's such
throw
a joke.
Wagner in, that's 19. I would also include CC Sabathia. Uh, one, because it is so an underrepresented position, and he's one of the best to ever do it. Um, and I still like him going to the Brewers as a rental and saying, I don't care, guys,
Almost
put the team on my
almost
back.
won the Cy Young.
Yeah, put the team
And
on my
half the
back. I'm
season.
pitching every 3 days. We're going to get this sucker in the playoffs. When most guys are like, nope, I'm hitting free agency. Throw me every 17 days. So get CC in there. Um,
17 days.
my eighth, which is almost a lock, it's just like he was so good, so fast, so young, but his counting stats just aren't there for a pitcher. But Felix Hernandez, everything he did in Seattle, I would vote for him to keep him on there, but I'm okay if he doesn't make it. So the two that I would argue for the most, Bobby Abreu, just completely underappreciated. I think the counting stats hurt him. He has 60 WAR, but not quite 2,500 hits, not quite 300 homers, but had an 870 OPS. Ran the bases excellent, played great defense. But his team's never won anything really. Philly's got good at the end of his career, but
What's
was he there when they won the World Series? I can't remember.
I don't think so. What's not quite get you?
2,500 hits. He's not quite there. 300
Yeah.
homers. He's not quite there.
Not
If
quite
it's,
gets you not in the Hall of Fame. Sorry.
but he does everything so good. Like I can't. I think the way that players are evaluated has changed. It's not just counting stats anymore. So I would vote for him to keep him on there. I'm okay if he doesn't make it, but I think he deserves a conversation. Now the 10th one is a little bit of a homer, and I would have not voted for him until today. Brian McCann. I would have never said vote for him, but
That
um,
was correct.
hear me out. This is
End of
why
sentence.
all of a sudden today I would have voted for him. Joe Mauer just got in. Is Joe Mauer a Hall of Famer, Jared?
No.
Okay. Me and Corey have argued this a ton.
Oh, are you asking me if he is in?
He's
Yes.
in. Yes. Would you have voted for
Physically,
Mauer?
no.
Okay, Joe, would you have voted for Mauer?
I'd have to dive it a little deeper.
Yeah. Same with me. Like I'm borderline Mauer. Corey's all about Mauer. But catchers, like there's Johnny Bench, and then there's all other catchers. And so if Maurer gets in at 53 and a half Fangraph WAR, Brian McCann has 52.1 Fangraph WAR. So basically the same WAR. And here's the thing: innings caught. Joe Mauer 7,883. Brian McCann 13,501. He caught twice as many games. So a lot of Mauer's, later in his career stats were at first base. And then Fangraphs includes defense into catcher ratings. If you look at Baseball Reference, they don't. McCann is like at 30 something more. And so that's one thing too, is like they're trying to figure out how these advanced stats talk about catchers. Um, as far as offensively goes, Maurer and McCann were the best offensive catchers during their era. But Maurer is worth 27.6 framing runs. I don't know how they do that. They go and watch every pitch, I guess. 27.6 framing runs. McCann was worth 165.6. They're both known for calling the game, which we can't measure. McCann had the power. Maurer had the on base skills. But if Maurer's in, McCann's got to at least be in the conversation. And I think catchers just the bar is set too high for catchers. We're missing a lot of Hall of Fame catchers potentially. And I think it'll be interesting once Yachty hits it because Yachty offensively isn't close to any of these guys, but all of us would say get him in there. So,
Well, yeah, there's a difference between a beast and not a beast.
but McCann is
I
a beast defensively. He just doesn't throw like Yachty. That's the one thing.
No, I
Yachty could
don't.
throw better.
I don't
on
know
those
about
guys.
that. I don't know about that, but
Check the
I
stats.
will say
I think I'd rather you hear you talk about Andrew Jones than Brian McCann ever again.
Check the stats. That's all I gotta say.
I'll not to spend too much time on this. I will say his offensive numbers surprised me of how consistent he was throughout there. But you have all these advanced statistics and things that use mathematical equations and physics and oh he
I
can
go
do
off.
this.
I go off
This
vibes.
vibes, eye test, McCann's not a catcher. Not a good one. But he can hit 20 homers for 9 seasons in a row. So
You didn't watch him
Oh.
play. He was a
Oh
great
no!
catcher. He
Wait,
just couldn't
wait, wait,
throw.
wait.
no way.
And
I
nobody
hey,
touched home plate if they didn't deserve it.
hey. That's what I'm saying. I'm about to rescind my vote. He's in. If I go off vibes, he's the only guy to
Yes.
step up in front of Carlos Gomez and say, "You ain't touching that."
You ain't
he's a
touching
lock.
nothing.
He's a first
That's pretty awesome,
ballot
man.
Hall of
He's
Famer. He
got
should have
Yachty
been.
vibes with
He
Mauer
should have been
power.
elected to the Hall of Fame after that play. He should have been
Join
the
we're
first
talking.
Roberto
person.
Clemente.
He should have been the first person to be voted into the Hall while he was still playing.
Now we're talking.
Forget the stats, man. Throw those out. Just play that clip.
Well, Jay Lee,
I
why don't
get
you
it.
jump into your list here?
Let's run through Corey's list real quick since he's not here,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
just to get his votes out of there.
He had Alex Rodriguez as well. He had Billy Wagner as well. I'll give you the guys that we both had. He had Manny.
A little
He
slower,
had
please.
oh, sorry,
A-Rod. Who else?
Manny
Got it.
Wagner. Do you have Wagner?
Yep.
He has Andrew.
Lol.
He had Felix.
Lol.
Mega lol.
He had Ichiro.
I would hope.
And then the ones that I didn't have, he had Torrey Hunter, which he's talked about before on pod. He has Beltron. And then one bigger homer pick than McCann. He had Zobrist.
No, get out of here.
Is that all of them? Did I give you 10? He had 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I got A-Rod listed twice. Let me see who I missed. Let me just read his text. Zobrist, Wagner. Oh, he had Pettit.
Okay. Let me see how many wins Pettit got to. I think I left him off last year's.
He's close. He probably would
Okay.
my 11th.
He is close, man. Um, all right, Jay Lee, do you want to jump into yours? Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, thanks, Corey, wherever you are. Oh, so you guys want the right answers to the test. Got it. Hang on.
Oh,
Mhm.
hey, BT Dubs. McCann has more framing runs than Yadi Molina in his career. So still have it.
Framing runs. I mean, we're just going to start making up categories. Molina has more right foot turned out to the left to get an extended strike zone.
What's a catcher supposed to do? They're supposed to get strikes that other catchers don't. If you ever see a bad catcher like
No.
Wilson Contreras back there, pitchers throw it right down the middle. It's called a ball because he doesn't know how to catch it.
Yeah,
That's
so good.
huge.
He's so good at catching moving
Yes.
first base. Anyway,
Be able to
That
frame it,
sounds like an umpire
still
problem.
strikes.
That's not,
Well-
that's fake. That's fake.
okay. We ready? Or you still
But
want to talk
batting
about
should be in
Brian
the Hall of
McCann?
Fame.
So
No, I'm
Angel
just
Hernandez obviously umped a lot behind Brian McCann.
just saying. Deserves a conversation.
Made up stat. Go ahead.
Thank you.
All stats are made up.
If I hit a bomb, that's a bomb, son.
That
Go
was
ahead.
made up at some point. Somebody said, "Oh, you hit that ball over the
Framing rate.
delicatessen across the street
So
in
they
downtown
watched
Harlem,
every
so we
game and they
better
were
call
like,
that a home run."
oh, he moved his glove there. That's a framing run saved. Put that one in. That doesn't even make any sense.
Ooh, you just made up a great new stat though. Instead of homers, they should have a subcategory that's bombs. So like you hit a homer, but 322 of your 500 home runs were bombs,
They
and
do have
that's
that
I'm for it.
stat.
what's going to get you in the hall.
The homers that would be out in any park are considered. I think they're called
Bombs?
bombs. Is that what they're called? Like Alonzo, like
I've
they were
s-
talking about Alonzo today. You know, like he could play anywhere because he had the most homers in the last 5 years that'd be out in any park. And I forget what they called it. Maybe not bombs, but something similar to that.
Probably speaking of old podcasts, probably not the stadiums that we created, but
No, nobody hitting out of some of those.
The butt
anyway,
crack.
back to the Hall of Fame, like we were talking about here. Of course, I had Ichiro. If no one's voting for him, like there's gonna be that one guy that doesn't, just to make the headlines. Also had Billy Wagner. So congrats, Billy, you made it in. Had K Rod.
Let's make this. You got to get 4 out of 4. Keep going. JK.
Okay.
Changing the rules.
I mean, it's his segment. He can do that. I had Mr. Andrew Jones. I also had CC Sabathia. I too selected Manny and Adard. So I think I made this last time we talked to Hall of Fame. You can take steroids, but that does not help you hit a baseball.
Mhm.
Now, when you make contact with the baseball, that bad boy is flying, but that does not help you hit the ball.
Have
Helps
you
you
seen
swing
all
the bat
those
faster.
crazy like Barry Bonds doing like game shows in Japan back in the day?
Yeah.
There's one where like pitcher's on a trampoline doing flips and throws a pitch and Bonds crushes it out. And he's like in jeans. And there's another one where there's two pitchers on the mound, one's throwing right-handed, one's throwing left-handed. He doesn't know who has the ball until they
Yeah, I've
release
seen
it.
it.
He jacks a homer. Like steroids don't do that. They help you stay on the field maybe, but
Unless
come
they're
on.
injecting the steroids into their eyeballs.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's why I said what
So that's my point with the steroid era. Like, get over it.
it happened.
It happened. It
So
made
Can I
those
say one
baseball.
more
seven,
thing about that?
those 7
Soapbox.
guys are in.
Let's stop making players apologize before they're allowed back. Like Cubs, you're not going to let Sosa back until now because he finally apologized. Like you made bank off of Sosa being there. You knew he was on
Mhm.
steroids. You knew his bats were corked.
As Joe
Stop
would
making
say,
apologize.
they made a Billy off of him.
They made a
Super
couple
cringe.
Billies. Like
Yeah.
when we're in the Giants Stadium, Joe realized they don't mention Barry Bonds anywhere. Like, come on,
Yeah,
guys. It's stupid. Don't make him apologize. You know you made money off of him. Move on.
terrible.
Okay, sorry.
And they could still make money off him if they wanted to. Just let him back.
Exactly.
Anyway, Manny and Arod. I had 9 here. I also selected Beltron, and then I also selected Torrey Hunter.
Did you do that last year too?
Yeah, we've
Picked Torrey
talked
Hunter.
about these
Sure
guys.
did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I'm
go
gonna
back and
get you
look
in,
at them.
Torrey.
You vote for McCann, I'll vote for Tory.
I told you I'm voting for McCann just off vibes.
Okay.
Uh,
So on to the
I
correct
mean, a
list.
career WAR of 50.7, 353 homers, a 277 career batting average, 9 Gold Gloves in center field, one of the hardest positions to
Yep.
ever play.
Hall of Fame, not Hall of Very Good. Okay. You guys ready for mine?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I was done telling you about Mr. Torrey Hunter here, but
No, keep
I
going.
need to see
Can
Hunter,
you
Beltran, Andrew, like side by side by side. You voted for Andrew. You voted for all three of them?
yeah,
Yeah.
can you recreate some of his robbing of homers? I feel like he has some of the best up on top of the fence arm bent back beasters. Did
That
he
was
do
pretty
one
good,
in the
actually.
All-Star game too?
Yeah, Rob
Be
Bond.
Rob Barry. Yeah, Barry ran out
Yeah.
and picked him up. Jared almost had one, guys. I know we talked about it. Hit him in back of the
Yeah,
head
I
instead,
used
but
my head though.
He had a Jose Canseco.
I tried to headbutt it back to the infield to Joe, but it
at
didn't get
least
that
yours
far.
was a home run no matter what.
Yeah, it's true.
Like you didn't create a home run, but I like
That's a
it.
different story for a different pod.
Why was I was playing catcher? Why was I playing catcher? I'm one of the best fielders. Anyway, okay, on the mind.
Weak dog.
I'm sure we've kept all of our listeners to this point to hear my list. So
Drum
I
roll.
have um I think there's only one that my
You probably
vote gets
voted for
them.
one player.
I got I got seven
Manny and
players
A-Rod,
here.
that was it.
Okay, Manny and A-Rod definitely in. I only have one player that gets them into our Hall of Fame, so I'll save him for last. But A-Rod, Manny, Billy, guys, I saw this earlier today and I was so excited. I'm like, I gotta text the guys immediately. But then I'm like, no, I gotta save it for the pod. So one thing that Baseball Reference tells you is the name of the agent that these people had. And Billy Wagner's agent's name was Bean Stringfellow. I don't know. I thought that was one of the best and funniest things I've ever seen. So
He was
Gotta change
representing
that name.
himself. Made that up.
Billy probably made 50 mil over his career thanks to old Bean Stringfellow.
Like
I
an
had Ichiro.
1890s baseball player.
Exactly, right? Makes you want to
Yeah.
talk in an old-timey voice and paint everything black and white. Ichiro, of course. He, last I saw, he was unanimous of the public votes. I guess we won't know, like Aaron said, until the 21st.
21st, I think. So, yeah.
So we'll see. There's always some idiot who's like, "Oh, I don't think that guy's unanimous." I was surprised when I saw CC. I was like, "No, that's the Hall of really great." But I was surprised. He's for a modern day pitcher to get 250 plus wins. I think that puts you in, which that will immediately contradict my next statement of Andy Pettit. I don't have in.
Well,
He's
CC got
right
the three
there.
Ks, 3,000 Ks too, right?
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, more
Oh, my bad.
Ks, a little better numbers in some other areas. Pettit, is on a Yankees team that's winning a hundo plus every year, so maybe padded a little bit. But if he got in, I wouldn't be super mad. A modern day pitcher getting 250 plus wins, man, I don't think we see that a whole lot. We're looking at Verlander and Scherzer. Verlander's there, Scherzer's not. Some of these guys that are pitching forever, they're still not
Where's
there.
Kershaw at? Is Kershaw even close? Everybody's like, he's a Hall of Famer now if he
I'll
retired.
I'll look. I don't think he is, but he's at 212.
Yeah. So he's not even close.
And then I have Francisco Rodriguez, him and Billy way over 400 saves. That's one of those numbers that I think just gets you in, unless you're pitching for 80 years and you're getting 5 saves a year to get 400. I mean, that's you're a beast. So, um, and then the last guy I have, which you're welcome, sir, it gets you into our Hall of Fame, 3 out of 4. And I'd also say thank you to not even being able to swing the bat at certain times during your career. I have Carlos Beltran in, super solid, 5-tool player. Really liked him when he was on the Mets. Just watched an Uncle Charlie. That's one of my
It's one of the
highlights
best
of my
memories.
yeah best memories. So there you have it. Hall of Fame. We'll talk more about it when the official results come out. But let us know what you think, listeners. Leave some comments.
I won't
Real
rage
quick
that you
before
picked
we answer
Beltran
this,
over Andrew.
one more. We'd mentioned him. I mean, he's not eligible for the Hall of Fame yet, but we talked about Kershaw. So are you saying like if he doesn't hit that threshold, like he's not worthy of
No,
Hall of Fame?
no, he gets in. He
I
gets
mean,
in.
212 wins, 94 losses, and a 2.5 ERA for his career. pretty nuts.
0.5. He'll get 3Ks. He only needs 32 more. 3,000 Ks.
Well, I guess he still have to learn to be healthy for a season too. So
True. All right, Aaron, I'll throw it back over to you.
Well, I think that's it, right, guys? Anything else?
Like I said, listeners, we're trying to plan our annual baseball trip, so shout some suggestions. Just not Atlanta, Chicago. Where else have we been, boys?
St. Louis.
Nothing on the
obviously
West
St.
Coast.
Louis,
Yeah, we don't
we-
go out there right now.
San Francisco, Oakland. Is that it?
Arizona, we've been
Kansas
there.
City.
Arizona, Kansas City. So any outside of those, we're up to some
They're right
suggestions.
there. Where's that? Right there.
If you could zoom in on that real quick.
Yeah, there we go. Whole body. All righty, guys. Well, that was great. Nice Hall of Fame. Let us know who you would vote for. We'll find out in 2 weeks who gets in. And we're going to sign off and then have another Immaculate Grid competition. So until next time, don't forget to
Rake your